said I stand on it. In a private lane, I land on it.
Spiritual with the Bag it's my baby. It is my new project, that I've been working on that really centers around helping Black women, helping us really find balance between our bag, which is what our purpose, our goals, our money, right, and our spirit, which is our health, our wellness, like our body, so being able to find the balance between those two. Often as Black women, we work our asses off, right? Especially a lot of us who are entrepreneurs or in the corporate world, or just wherever, we work so hard. Um, and in doing so, we really ignore the things that really matter, like, right, our spirit, our body, our mind, right? And it causes a lot of health issues. It causes anxiety. Um, and our body really keeps score with that. And so my goal with Spiritual with the Bag is to be able to help us find balance between those two things, right? So we can come together and be very zen and healthy and prosperous people, where we can go after our goals and still feel good, still look good, still like, I don't know, still be us, our best version of us, our best and highest version of ourselves, We achieve great things right now. Um, when we are on high stress, high anxiety, we achieve amazing things. So imagine what we can achieve when we are balanced within our body, when we're balanced with our soul, when we're balanced with our mind. Yeah, I really feel like it'll ignite our passions and allow us to go even further, right? And push us farther than what we thought we were even capable of. Releasing those restraints of that pressure. Yeah. Is really releasing that. Who can we be? Who can we be? And I know that, I want us to be able to come together to talk about that. Right. And to, help each other come up with techniques and, find ways for us to be able to center ourselves and to balance ourselves, whether it's through, spiritual retreats, where as women we can gather together and really, use various methods, whether it's like yoga or whether it's dance or whether it is therapy, right? Group therapy or whatever it is, for us to shine, right, to glow, to be us and to be happy and to be joyful and to still pursue our bag and still get our money. Yes. So what inspired me to create Spiritual with the Bag was my own health journey. So I'm an executive assistant to a really busy Black lady. I call her boss lady. um, and I work my ass off. You know what I mean? Executive assistants, that job is no joke. And I would just be putting in ridiculous amount of hours because we had to get the things done. And as much as I loved my job and I loved my work, and also had a lot of projects on the side. Like I had a fashion line with my mother, and I had a few other things that I was working on. Also, I was running myself ragged, right, all in the pursuit of what? Money, of my passions. And yeah, I felt happy, but at the same time, I felt sad because I was stressed. I was tired. I was depressed, right? I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't realize how much those things were taking a toll on me until around October. I started having migraine issues. And so my migraines, they don't necessarily affect, I don't get pain, but I get a lot of visual disturbances, right? And so sometimes the way I see can look like I'm on acid or something crazy, right? But when I went to the doctor, one of the main things they were telling me is stress. Like stress. What are you doing in your life? What job are you working? Like, what projects are you working on? Because stress, it feels like stress is your main factor as to why you got this. Um, and that really hit me because I started to see a pattern in my life. I started to look back and think about the times where I would randomly get, like, I think last 2 years ago, I ended up having dermatitis of the scalp, right? And I ended up having to shave all my head off. And what was happening around that time? Stress. I was working my ass off. I didn't have any balance, right? A time before that, I was having other health issues, excuse me. And what was the issue? Stress, right? And so, right around October, I really had to stop, because you don't play about your eyes, right? That's how you see. That's how you, feel the world around you. That is a big sense that that I love about myself. And so I don't know, that moment made me stop and really rethink the things that I needed in my life. Yes, I still want to pursue, and be an EA or an executive assistant. And yes, I still want to pursue my passions and my dreams, and I still want to go hard. But I have to find balance, because if I don't, I'm going to burn out. And burnout looks different for other people, right? It could be a serious mental health breakdown for someone, right? Someone else, it could be them having a major health issue, right? But for me, I guess I was afraid that my burnout was going to be me losing my sight. Yeah. And I wasn't going to let that happen. And so, yeah, I around like November, December ish. Excuse me. Around November, December, I started meditating more and trying to find practices that allow for me to really ground myself. And so me and my best friend, every morning at like 8 o'clock in the morning, we would call each other and talk about like, what are our goals for the day, and how did we center ourselves, and what kind of, what, creating mantras for each other, so that way we can really, find balance as much as we can throughout that week. And we would do this every single day until one day something hit me and was like, ooh, Aisha, that's my best friend's name. I was like, let me create a meditation for us. And so I created a visual meditation where I walked us through the process of meeting our highest self, right? So it's a whole process of us, like, we do this deep breathing exercise, and then like we visualize a door being created, and this door is specific to you, right? So you create that, and then you walk through that door, and when you do, you visualize your highest self there, right? And so you're thinking, what does that look like? Where, what is she surrounded by? What are the surroundings? And so you mentally create that. You're seeing that, right? And then and in the meditation, I had us sit down and speak to our highest selves, and allow for us to ask a question, and allow for that highest self to give us guidance on that. And in doing so, it was the craziest process, because in doing so, there was a sense of peace that I got. Yeah. Because it was almost like I was talking to myself, who knew what I was going through, and me being burnt out, and me being tired, and me being stressed, and listen to her be like, hey, love, yeah. you got to make some changes. Right. You see where I'm at? I'm happy. I'm living a good life. You see the surroundings. You see this beach behind us. Do you see this? This was created because I prioritized myself. This was created because I found balance between my passions, right, and my spirituality. I found balance between my money and my health. And that whole like meditation, it really blew me away. And it's so crazy. I actually never even said this, but in that meditation, I would ask, like, what exactly should I do moving forward? And my highest self looked at me, because I'm a really visual person, and was like, this, exactly this. And when I came out of that meditation, I was like, oh, shoot. Oh my goodness, and yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of how that came about. And like, in days, me and my best friend, we would still do this every day. And in one conversation, I said something to her, and I was like, you know what? I was thinking about my highest self, and that, that vision that I had in that meditation. I was like, you know what? I could be spiritual with the bag. I could be. And then in that moment, it was like, oh, that's it. That's what I want, that balance. That's that spirit in that bag, your money, your passions, right? That's your health and your wealth. All those things are balanced. Who can I be when I am balanced like that? And I saw who I could be, and that bitch was bad. Excuse me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, shit, I can be that. Mm-hmm. So let me take my ass to therapy. Let me start meditating more. Let me start working out. Let me really plot a plan for my life. What do I want to do? Right? I love being an EA. I'm feeling a little stressed right now. How can I make some changes so I don't feel less stressed? Now I'm working for myself, right? I'm still doing executive assistant consulting, but it's still different. It's on my terms, right? And so, my goal with Spiritual with the Bag is to do that, where we create this spiritual community for us to be able to get together, right? To be able to meditate together so I can bring people into that, that space of meditation where they can meet their highest selves and really figure out what their goals are, what they need to do, how they can find that balance, and and get to it. Because, bitch, our higher selves are happy. She feel blessed. She feel real good. And it's almost like, that best self, or even our inner child, they're just both looking at us like, when you gonna make the choice? Spiritual with the bag. This was Spiritual with the Bag. I don't know. We have many accents. This is Spiritual with the Bag. I have no clue.
The bag.
The bag. Spiritual with the bag. Get to it right. Get to it. Get your money. Get your monies up. Get your shit together. Get your balance. Get your life. Get your life. Enjoy yourself.